New York Times best-selling author Charlamagne the God is in the building.
Wow. Thank you, Angie Martinez.
New York Times best-selling author.
You become a New York Times best-selling author, you get to do an interview with the legendary Angie Martinez.
This is true. This is very true. But I also got to do one with you. And I will say this. You had me on before I got the little label. Before I got the bestseller.
But you're Angie Martinez,
Thank
though.
you,
Like,
man.
come on. Stop it. Like, you're a legend. Like, if there's nobody that does radio who has not been inspired by you in some way, shape, or form.
Thank you, man.
Like, come on.
I don't think people would think that, though, because we're so different, you and I. And so people are always surprised. Like, one of the things, like today, I was just telling you, I went to Rikers Island to do a book reading.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me how you were when I first came here. And I was like, you were actually one of the first people to, like, send me an email and welcome me and I don't know, just make me feel like part of the family immediately out the gate.
Yeah, because I was relieved. I was like, finally, I could talk to Angie Martinez. Like,
I know you always said
yeah,
that.
because you got to think, I used to work with Wendy, so it's like, don't talk to Angie. And then I'm at Power, and you're on the other station. I'm like, now I get to talk to Angie. Yeah.
Now you can follow me on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny, too, because I remember you. So I'm thinking back, right? So I remember when you in New York. I don't remember exactly the first moment, but I remember being in New York and hearing some kid on with Wendy. And you sounded so, I don't want to say, you sound arrogant. But you also sounded strong and like solid and like you had an opinion, which to me, you know, I hear was what we do, right? So you could hear the difference between somebody who's like, I don't know, you had it. Like I could tell. I was like, who is that kid?
Word.
And so it's been amazing to watch your career and watch from then to now what you, and I mean, know before that you was grinding it out too.
Yeah,
but
New York hated me when I first came. I remember,
were they hard on you?
Yeah, I remember Wendy put a poll up one time and it was like, should I send them back? And it was like 73% of the people was like, yes. Like, send him back. Like, it was like, who is this guy coming on our airwaves talking crazy about our artists and just people in general? Who is he?
But I'll say that you've evolved since then. I do feel like the new like Charlamagne of now is not the Charlamagne of then.
Oh,
Would
no,
you agree?
absolutely not. Of course. I absolutely have grown and evolved. I'm a husband now. I'm a father. I can see all sides of the game. Like, that's the most interesting thing because, you know, coming up, I was one of those people who would believe all the world star conspiracy theories about people, and you hear so many different things about various artists, but then you realize that 90% of the stuff you hear is probably not true.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to like stuff, and I'm only basing it based off stuff I hear about myself, and I'm like, that didn't happen. That's, like, that's not true.
Welcome to the inside, the dark inside.
Yeah, so it makes your approach different.
Yeah, but I also felt like when you're coming up and you're trying to make a name, because you had to make a name. You had to make yourself stand out from the crowd. And I feel like at some point you went from like always like trying to make a statement of that to like owning your position in the culture and having it have more weight to it. How you use your voice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the best things that happened for me was when I first started radio. I didn't know how to do radio, so I literally was just coming off the street, drunk and high, and just talking
shit.
Yeah, and that's just something that I always historically did. But then it's like, yeah, when you do realize the power of your platform and realize the responsibility that you have, you of course you change your message. Because my priorities are different. The things I care about are different. Nowadays.
That's true.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this moment right now? Like, are you, I don't know, are you in it? Are you absorbing it? Are you appreciating it? I'm watching you on like I'm watching you on The View in a vest. Like, I'm watching you. It's like, I'm just saying.
The View in a vest.
You are on The View in a vest. You're on like, it's amazing. Like you have, I think this book has taken you to a whole other level. And do you feel that already? Are you feeling like?
I haven't, honestly, I promise you I haven't thought about it, man.
Really?
I'll probably think about it on vacation or something over the holidays when you finally just get a chance to be still. Like, I'm just working. Like, that's all I'm doing, keeping my head down and working. I mean, it's always like, it's always surreal when people that you've always looked up to and like have inspired you in a way give you props. Like when Chris Rock was like, I should be interviewing you. Yeah. You know, and Chris Rock telling me he's reading my book. I'm like, what? You know how many times I watch Bring the Pain? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like even when no, I'm not going to talk about that. Never.
What?
I was going to say like when we saw Michelle Obama the other day, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Why?
Nah. Because nobody going to believe me. I mean, you was there, but nobody.
I'm here to confirm.
Oh.
She said, you're really funny. It's the first thing she said to you. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
She said, hey, Charlamagne, you're really funny. She said you were funny.
And then she said I was smart.
I didn't hear that part. She may or may not have said it. She may or may not have said it. I cannot confirm nor deny. I don't know.
Because I was shocked. So I was like, really? And then she was like, yeah, but you're smart. Most smart people are funny. And I was like,
Oh, I don't know. I missed that little part of it.
But I mean, that's Michelle Obama. Like, who would think?
No, but she immediately saw you and knew who you were and were familiar and gave you a hug. And
yeah, those are the moments because I mean, my mom cares about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like my mom literally only cares about two things. Like if she sees me, like I interviewed Dan Rather once on my TV show on Common Sense, and she was like, "You kept calling him Mr. Rather. Good." You know, like she cares about stuff like that.
Right.
Like she don't care about where I'm
Is she ever horrified by anything?
Probably this book. Because it's funny,
Really?
yeah. Because you know, she was watching Moonlight, and she was like, I couldn't get through Moonlight because there was so much cursing. Because she's a devout Jehovah's Witness.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, Mom, I don't think you're gonna get through my book either.
Did she read those old raps that you used to rap about?
Yeah.
Every word was like fuck rhymes with suck.
Yeah. Yeah. She hit me the other day, and she was like, you know, there's some alternative facts in this book.
Did she say that?
Yeah, and I'm like, what? And she was like, it was a single wide trailer, not a double wide. I'm like, you know what, Mom? I should have remembered that.
My bad.
That would have made the story even better.
My bad.
Yeah.
Wow. But so she never gets wind of like a baby interview or like a...
nah, she don't know nothing.
Really? No wind?
It's literally stuff like The View or Dr. Oz or Harry Connick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Where you like, you made it.
Yeah, I mean, not even like what she made it, but that's the stuff that... the other day she sent me a picture of my book in the local Walmart in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. So stuff like that.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. She don't get excited over too much stuff like that. She'll send me like, wow.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's one of the things about the book that I thought was interesting is that you you share about your family, which you've been really good, by the way, at keeping that part of your life private.
Absolutely.
But you opened up somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat.
I mean, you use like fake names, right?
Yeah, I mean, because my mentality, my mindset on it is if people out here want to hurt me, I'm not going to introduce them to the closest people to me. You know what I'm saying? I
get that. And that's probably a thing you figure out early, right? You make that decision early in a relationship and with the kids. And
yeah. I mean, I'm naturally paranoid anyway, though.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm naturally.
Why?
I just am. I'm historically a naturally paranoid person. Like I was in L.A. on Sunday, and I don't know what made me smoke some marijuana.
Yeah.
And they said it was sativa, which I didn't even know. It's just sativa and then something called indigo.
What?
So sativa's like an upper that like makes
if
you got a little bit of anxiety, it makes it worse. So the stuff that was going through my mind on Sunday, I have no idea. I really don't know. And I'm like, you know what? I've been on the New York Times bestsellers list for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna die of a heart attack in LA. And it's gonna be a drug overdose, and I'm gonna look so stupid, and somebody's gonna give me donkey today, and it's gonna be all bad. But like the things I was thinking just increased, like the weed increased my paranoia.
So will you smoke weed again after that?
Nah, I don't
No,
think
you
so.
shouldn't.
I'm actually like, I don't even want weed legalized now. If that's the kind
change
of
your mind,
yeah,
change
word
your
up.
stance?
I'm with Jeff Sessions on this one. If this is the kind of weed that's out there, I don't even want them producing this for people.
There is a certain thing that happens in your life, a transition that you should not smoke weed after that, like a certain age or a certain. I don't know, because it hits you different. It does.
I really don't.
I
even
can't
know.
smoke either.
I'm sitting around doing nothing in LA on a Sunday because I didn't have nothing to do till Monday. I flew in on Sunday, and I'm literally that JayZ line keeps running in my head with like,
Who
I
gave you
puff weed
weed?
once in the blue. Wax.
Oh.
My guy Wax. He's like, you puff weed once in the blue when there's nothing to do. And I'm literally sitting on the back of the terrace of the hotel, took like 3-4 puffs, and that was it. I was done. Like I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
I would have loved to have a conversation with
No,
you.
you wouldn't know. I couldn't stop Millie rocking. Like I had
Shut
no
up.
control over my
Stop
nervous
it.
system. I'm serious. I could not stop Millie rocking for no reason. It was weird.
All right, let's talk about the book a little bit. Let's go back. So a couple of things you'll learn about Charlamagne from the book is that this didn't just happen by chance. I mean, his career is like, he put in that work for free, work for Wendy for free, which that surprised me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I mean, I was doing radio in Columbia, so that's market.
But you were getting paid in Columbia, weren't you?
Yeah, not no crazy money though, like $8 an hour.
Okay, but that's still like your car fare. Like you still could get to work, transportation, something.
Yeah, but like I tell these kids all the time, man, you gotta recognize opportunity when it's not a paycheck attached.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Wendy Williams at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. And you have to work for free when you need to work for free sometimes because it's an opportunity.
I probably would have never got broke into the New York market if I didn't take that position.
I do love, because I know you and Wendy have not spoken, and I know it was business stuff with her husband, but I love that you have never really crossed the line in terms of disrespecting her, because clearly you must still have some sort of respect for what you learned from
absolutely.
her. And but I also feel like maybe we didn't get the full story because of that.
That's true too.
Because of that.
That is absolutely 100% accurate.
Yeah, I totally get that. Will you tell that story one day, you think?
Probably not. I mean,
Really?
it's really nothing too crazy. Like what I said in the book isn't like too far off. I mean, I probably could put more examples that I used, but it's not too far off. I think Wendy's a decent person.
Yeah.
You know, and she gave me an opportunity, you know, but she got to ride with her husband.
100%.
Yeah, her husband is he doesn't have the best character.
Do you?
But to say the least, but you know.
Do you ever wish to resolve that? Do you ever think about that?
Nah, you know what? It's funny because like when you growing in radio and you want people to talk to about certain things, like you would love to have that mentor that's in your back pocket, somebody that's been through it, especially for the style of radio personality I am. Like it's a lot of things I'm sure she would understand. Right. You know, so other than that aspect, no, because I believe people come into your life for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. Yeah. And that situation happened. I learned a lot from it, and I kept it moving. Mm-hmm.
You didn't even miss on the press tour? Because that would have been an interesting spot on the press tour.
It would have been. But I mean, for me, it's like I know I'm the type of person. I would love to have a protege. Yeah. You know, I would love to have a protege who grew and evolved in the same space I did and is doing some good things out here. Like that's the ultimate goal. Like that's kind of how you live forever. Like when I look at guys like JayZ, like JayZ's JayZ because he's JayZ, but he's also JayZ because of the fingerprints that he has on a lot of different people in this game. Totally. You know, so I feel like that's what you want. So I mean, if anything, she's kind of missing out. You know, because she could be able to say, "Yo, that's mine. I grew that. Yeah,
that's my son."
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, hopefully one day you'll get to that point.
Maybe.
You know, her and I don't have the best history either, but I do think that I would hope that if our paths did cross at some point, that there would be at least a gracious kind of like, I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a thing
and plus
like that.
Y'all squared up. Y'all had the fist fight. Y'all kept
that
it moving.
That was 150 years ago. Charlamagne, I'm trying to move on from this.
But you still got the movie to do, so you're going to have to replay it, show that in the movie.
It, so we'll probably never speak then. It'll probably never happen.
Yes. You got to show it in the movie what happened. You're not going to make yourself get beat in the movie. You got to win the fight.
I hate you so much.
You got to win the fight in the movie, Angie.
It's going to happen as it happened in real life.
That's what I'm saying. And then from what I read in the book, it seemed like you won the fight.
It wasn't really a fight. It was 4 seconds. It took maybe 17 seconds.
Oh, Mike Tyson used to knock people out in just that amount of time, too.
True.
Okay?
That is true.
You hit him with a left, right,
That's
it happens.
Not how it happened, though. Why? This is the problem. This is not where this conversation is going. I was sleeping on you for a second because I forgot. You know what I'm saying? And you was in here as a book author just now. I forgot I'm fucking talking to Charlamagne.
They can flip at any moment.
I forgot.
You start getting interviewed at any moment.
I know. I forgot about that.
Do you have that problem, though?
I'm the queen of that. No, I'm the queen of that. Oh, yeah, I can't help that, by the way. It's just nature, right? Because I'll do an interview and I'll be like, yeah, maybe, what about you? And
absolutely.
I find it so interesting that you even asked me that question.
And it can happen so fast without you even noticing it. You're like, oh, my bad. It's not my show.
Because it's a natural instinct. Like, you're naturally, right, interested in what people do and why they're, like, I don't know. That for me it is.
Absolutely.
You have that, too.
Yeah.
Like a natural interest in, I don't know.
People.
How people move and why they do the things they do and what makes them great or whack or.
I mean, that's why I've always liked your interviews because it's not like an interview, it's like a conversation. And that's just something I've always, I strive to do. You know, I don't want to interrogate people. I want to sit down and make them have a conversation.
Your style has changed a lot. Do you see that? Do you think that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In a great way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm not assuming anything anymore.
You're not assuming, but you're also not, it's like less to prove.
Yeah.
I felt like before you were like, I'm going to be so honest. And you were honest, and that's a skill set in itself to be able to do that. But now I feel like you're not pressed to be honest, but you just are.
Because I don't want to become a caricature of myself.
Right. No, I see that.
Because you have so many people out there that'll say they love something about you, and then you feel like you always got to do that. And I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be able to put in a box. I want to be able to grow. I want to be able to evolve. I don't want anybody to be like, that's who he is.
Right.
He makes little mama cry. He makes everybody cry. Like it's 7 years later, and people are out like, yo, why you ain't make such and such cry? I didn't make her cry. Like that happened by accident. Like leave me alone. Like that's not what I want to do.
You easily, if she wasn't a stronger girl, you would have made her cry. You were hard on her, Charlamagne.
But it was set up bad. It was like it was set up bad because it was supposed to be me and her was supposed to Jones on each other.
Oh,
that's why I had lines.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
I had little shots prepared.
So you probably learned something from that, right? Or no, or not even. You're like,
not that one. I've learned stuff from things, but not that one.
Like what? I know Floyd. You said
definitely learned from the Floyd Mayweather situation.
You felt bad.
I felt really bad because that didn't agree with my spirit. Like nobody pressed me in the street. I didn't get into no trouble from corporate. It it just didn't feel right. Like, because it wasn't a teachable moment. Like, I literally was just doing that on some, like,
making fun of him.
Yeah, and we need some ratings. Like, yo, let's go.
Yeah.
Like we're going to get bad hits from this, and everybody in the room was telling me, no, Charlamagne, don't do it. But I did it anyway. Mm-hmm. And I learned from that, and when it came around again with the Drake situation, because I had those reference tracks.
Right.
I had those before anybody.
You did?
Yeah, and I didn't use them. As a matter of fact, I passed them on to his people. Like, look, because it felt just like the Floyd Mayweather situation.
Yeah.
So I passed them right along. And
so the lesson is what? Not to do it for ratings, or not to do it for?
Yeah, don't do it for ratings. Like, I don't try to do anything maliciously. Like, that's never my intent. My intent is never, oh, we're going to get attention from this, or, oh, I'm being malicious, or, oh, I'm being disrespectful. Like, just do it because you really want to do it. Like, I mean, it was a way to do that Floyd Mayweather situation. Like, I could have been like, yo, this is sad. Like, I don't care how much money you got.
Right.
You got to have education. You got to know how to read. I could have made it a teachable moment. And then there was other people out there suffering from the same thing. But I didn't. It was just all fun and games.
So what does Charlamagne do after that, after you make a mistake? Like, you sit in your house upset with yourself? Or like, how do you?
Nah, you just got to keep it moving.
Right.
There's nothing you really can do other than learn from it. And then when people.
But you felt it. There's like a sting or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
it felt bad. I remember I was on the phone with Thea. Coach Thea Mitchell, I was on the phone with her about it, like, oh, yeah, that didn't feel good. Like, and then she kept twisting the knife, like, that didn't feel good.
We all do that, though. It's like, if you're in the game for a long time, there's no way that you can't have. I have those moments. Even
really?
Still. Yeah.
What was yours?
Well, recently I had one. It wasn't that dramatic, right? But I had Big Sean here, and everybody was so interested in his relationship at that point, and I felt like I was just asking him too much, and I didn't really even care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was asking him a little. And at one point, he was like, whoa, that's a lot. He even said that to me. Yeah. We have a great relationship. And I honestly was just doing it because I know that people, it's like you, like a clique, or people that's what people.
Yeah.
And then after, I was like, and I actually hit him and apologized. I was like, yo, if I made you uncomfortable, sorry. If you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that put me in check to make sure I don't do that shit again. Because you get caught up.
Absolutely.
People say, oh, you should do this because, and then the person comes in and they're sitting right here. I mean, you want to give to your audience what they want, but at the same time, you don't want to do some shit that ain't true to who you are or true to what you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a presser, though.
What do you mean?
Like, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
And if you say, I don't want to talk about that, I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to keep pressing you about the same thing over and over.
That's the thing. I wasn't pressing him, but everything I asked him, he gave it up. And so I kept going and going and going.
Because you're Angie Martinez.
Shut up. That's not true.
The truth.
That doesn't matter.
That has a lot to do with it. Yes,
no, it doesn't matter.
Yes, they'll give it up for you quick. Absolutely.
Really? They're loose out here.
Yeah.
My guests are loose. Just call my guests loose.
Absolutely.
Well, because they trust me a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think when people sit down with you, they've gotten better. I think people used to sit down with you and be a little nervous. Like, they're scared. I would get nervous. When I had to go in the first time with y'all, I was nervous.
Really?
I was like, yes, because I'm like, oh, and I'm a fighter. Like, I feel like if you would have gave me something crazy, I'd have been able to spar with you, right?
But I've never disrespected you ever, because I've always had the highest respect for you.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a disrespect. It could just be an honest Charlamagne crazy ass moment. And I'm like, and I could have been caught. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been a banter of like, I don't know. Like, why do you feel like you are? I don't know. I feel like you've been nice to me.
It's respect. Like, that's one thing I always try to do. Like, we live in this era where if you show somebody respect, they'll call it D-riding. And if you show somebody a quote-unquote lack of respect, they'll call it hating.
Yeah, people do that to me my whole career. I know.
Yeah, I respect you. Yeah, like, I'm a radio guy, so I respect you. You're a radio icon. Like, I bow down to radio icons. You're a god in my eyes. Like, yeah, it's respect.
We have, and you wrote about this in your book, because you talk about Wendy telling you that you shouldn't, you can only be friends, you can't be friends with artists.
Yeah, you got to be of the people or of the industry.
Yeah. And it's funny because I tell a similar story from the other side in the book about, because I don't say of the people of the industry. I say of the culture or, or of the media.
Got you.
And I always chose to be of the culture as opposed to of the media.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So if something is going to get a lot of blogs or it's going to get a lot of hits, but it's bad for the culture or it's bad for the artist, I tend to be of the culture. So my perspective is like a little bit different.
Got you.
But I think there is, I don't know, there's something in that. There's something in like your approach.
Yeah, and what I've realized too is like, just being in the game, it's almost impossible not to become cool with some of these industry folks.
Who are you cool with?
I mean, it depends. Like, I tend to like gravitate towards the executives only because that's the type of person I am. I like
to learn.
I like to learn, and I like to see what's going on behind the scenes. So of course the regulars like Kaiser, Kevin Lyles. Like Kevin gave me great advice back in the day that when he was like, I can't tell you to get married, but I can tell you to find somebody to share your experiences with. So that kind of like put a seed in me, like, yo, maybe it's time to settle it down. I mean, artist-wise, like Wale's somebody I talk to on the regular.
Wale's a good friend for you. Because you could be friends with Wale and you could still tell him, I think that song is whack.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be okay with that type of banter.
He comes to me with that.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, yo, did I do this wrong? Or how should I approach this?
So that's a friendship that you could have.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to affect any kind of like...
Absolutely. I mean, Lala, of course.
Yeah.
But Lala's like a radio person. Like, she,
Yeah. But that probably makes you nicer to Lala and more so. So when you handle a Lala story, let's say...
Yeah, I don't touch him.
You don't?
That's not my. I don't care about that type of stuff anyway. Like Lala's my people. I don't care about her personal life. Plus, Lala threatened to punch you in the face. Lala has threatened to punch me in the face several times. Yes,
she's not the only person that's threatened you though. At some point,
but I believe her for some reason.
So
like people always ask me who are the two people who the person that would punch you in the face, and I say Lala, and they laugh. But then the other person was like Nelly. And they always, they always act like that's a joke, like
Why
Nelly. And I'm like, first of all, Nelly is athletic as hell, right? like he's in shape.
He's totally in shape.
And when the first time we interviewed him, and I was telling Nelly, like, yo, you cold out here, like ain't nobody checking for you no more musically. And he was like, I keep retainers for guys like you. I understand that talk. All right? That means he's got a lawyer on standby. So if he does punch me in the face, he'll be out quick and he'll throw me a couple $1,000 and that'll be it.
This is premeditated too. He's already like, I can do this.
And it was nice and calm. It wasn't no rah-rah, like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, I understand. I get that kind of stuff.
So does that make you approach him differently if he comes in the studio or no?
I mean, I'm still going to ask those questions.
Yeah.
But, when Nelly first came here, this was like 2012.
Yeah.
So that was like
it was
really,
like a little rah-rah.
Yeah, that was reckless.
Reckless
Charlamagne.
Charlamagne. Yeah. I like both, but I like this. I like how you've evolved. And I mean, everybody should evolve, like you say.
Yeah, if you're not, what's the point?
And also because I think it's important. Evolution is important not only for you, but for people who follow you. Because it's like as you grow, it's almost like you're showing other people how to grow as well.
Yeah.
It's like with the artists. And, we were talking about, I don't think I was talking to you about this JayZ music that's coming and hoping to see like this evolution of like, JayZ's an artist that's like showed us how to become older.
Absolutely.
Change how you dress,
Absolutely.
change how you do your business, change how you get married,
Absolutely.
and really has like shown that. And so it's important even for our voices.
Yeah, I don't want to hear reasonable doubt JayZ in 2017.
No.
Like I know you and Tata them not still out here selling dope. Like
no. Please don't.
I want to know where y'all at now mentally.
I want to know that too.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
That's what helps us grow. That's what helps us to evolve. And plus, I feel like we kind of set a bad standard for how to do things. Because like now I see a lot of the personalities coming up and they're all just disrespectful for the sake of being disrespectful.
I know.
That's not
so
gonna work,
stupid.
kids. That's not gonna work. Like that's really who I am or was at one point. Like I wasn't doing that for attention. Like I really genuinely wasn't. That's really where I was at with it.
I believe you.
I'm not there. I'm not really there with it anymore. Because I can still ask the questions I want to ask, still be honest, and still have a conversation without just being like whatever I was.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but you don't think there was some element of you that was trying to get on, so you make sure that you said shit or
never. I got fired 4 times. The logical thing to do would have been to switch it up.
Yeah.
Way back then, like that would have been the logical thing to do. Like, you know what? You keep getting fired. It's clearly something.
Switch this up.
Yeah, it's clearly something you're doing wrong. But I just always stuck to my guns. I learned from those mistakes, but I just kept constantly evolving. And I think what you see now is like a grown man as opposed to a 20-something-year-old kid.
Yeah. And what happens next? What's the next? I know I've heard you mention, Steve Harvey and
love him,
Ryan Seacrest,
love him,
and so that's what I'm assuming. That's how you see the trajectory of your career, and
because Malcolm X says the guy who controls the media controls the minds of the masses. That's why it is so important to put the right people on the right platform. So I do want to have those multimedia conglomerates where we're controlling radio and podcast and television and online content, just so we can put the right voices in positions of power to get the right messaging out to people.
I have to put my glasses, Charlamagne, because you didn't hit 40s yet, did you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
A few more years.
I can't see anymore.
Got you. Word. Get LASIKs.
Reading. No, it's different. You can't get LASIK for reading. You have to do, I don't know. It doesn't work like
Got you.
It's only for far. It's happened. It's going to happen to you at some point.
Listen.
You're going to need reading glasses.
I sleep wrong now, and I wake up with like crooks in my neck. Yeah, absolutely.
I do like that you share that you got fired 4 times. Maybe I just didn't remember it until reading the book, and I didn't remember that you got, or maybe I didn't know at the time that you got fired from BLS and the whole Wendy thing.
Yeah, I got fired on November 2nd, 2008, and the reason I remember that is because Barack Obama became president-elect November 3rd.
And you were
and I remember when I got fired, I told the GM at the time, Dion Levinson, I said, yo, can't I just work for free?
Dion is in my book, too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was like, can't I just work for free? I mean, I was already here working for free for a year and a half. So, okay, if you fire me, can't I just come up here and keep doing what I was doing before? And he was like, nah.
Gotta go.
But
what was it again?
It was,
I know they thought it was the JayZ thing, but was it really that?
No, JayZ thing was Philly. That's when I was doing my own money show in Philly.
Okay.
I think BLS, that was just, the economy was messed up because they fired like 20 people. Oh. They got rid of Von Harper. Rest in peace to Von Harper. Champagne at the time.
Oh, wow.
Champagne. They got rid of, it was like 20 people from the sales staff, other people from Wendy's show. Like, it was just a mass firing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have to pack up and go back home.
No, I never keep any. No, well, actually, I was still here. I was too proud
to go back home.
To go back home and to collect unemployment checks. So luckily, my now wife had a job. So I would just stay home with the baby. My daughter was born June of 2008 that year. So I just stayed home with the baby from like June to May.
Stay-at-home dad.
Stay-at-home dad. And that's when I got called to come do mornings in Philadelphia. So that time was actually really good for me because I feel like my oldest daughter is like a daddy's girl. Mm. And I really believe it's because those times she was a newborn, I was there like just holding it down, making the bottles, changing the diapers.
Really?
Playing Ghostface, the Rocker to Sleep. No, bro. I used to play a song by Ghostface called "Love" with Music Soul Child, and for whatever reason, she would always go to sleep to that record. You know, Ghost is my favorite rapper of all time.
I know.
And I would rock her to sleep with playing Ghostface "Love" all the time.
That's amazing.
And she would go to sleep every time.
I can't even imagine you, Mr. Mom.
Stay-at-home dad.
Stay-at-home dad.
And it was weird. That's because at the time, like, what is this? This was Philly. Yeah, this is before Philly. So like Angela Yee would call me and like have me like call into her like satellite show.
Really?
So it'd be like I'll be playing Ghostface, putting the baby to sleep, and then she'd be like, yo, we got Mims in the studio. Put me on the phone. Then I'll be going in on Mims. I'm going in on Mims and then going back to, feed the baby. I'm sitting here like I'm all unemployed, being a stay-at-home dad. Mim out here living his life, getting show money.
What did Mims do to you?
Oh, I was just angry at that moment in my life. He did nothing.
Where is Mims, by
exactly.
the way?
He had a whack record.
Well,
he had a hot record.
He had a hot record.
He had a hot
Stop
record,
it.
but I thought he was like a whack artist. And so it was like
Poor
I was angry,
Mims.
stay-at-home dad, unemployed. So
I didn't realize that you knew Angela and them. You knew everybody? Did you know Envy and Angela back then?
Yeah. I met Angela. I mean, I knew of her, who she was, of course, but I met her via Twitter. And then she started asking me to come to her show on satellite. And I knew Envy because I was pushing an artist at the time. And we had sat down with Angie to try to get Envy to play the record.
Right.
For whatever reason, he saw the vision and played the record.
And then fast forward, and you get put together.
We get put together. And it was funny because I remember when the Breakfast Club first started, Cadillac Jack was here at the time. He asked me who I would want to be my co-host, and I said Angela Yee.
You did.
I said Angela Yee, and he was like, "Well, isn't Angela kind of like you?" And I'm like, "Nah." But I guess he felt like that because she was on satellite and it's all uncensored and whatever. But I didn't even know Envy was in the equation. And then they wanted to add Envy because he's like a New York staple and an anchor, and I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all got enough mics to go around?
Let's go.
If y'all got enough mics to go around, let's do it.
It's funny because I remember when y'all launched and everybody was like, yo, they putting these 3 together. And I knew immediately like that was going to be a problem. Like I immediately.
Really?
And people were fronting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in a very specific room. It was a couple of label people and a couple of radio people. And there was a specific conversation about Angela Yee, Charlamagne, and Envy coming together. And it was like, yeah, that might be a problem. And I watched the other people in the room go, nah, I give them whatever, this amount of time. I give them this. They're going to implode. People thought, because, when you put personalities together, sometimes after a while, people start like fighting for position and power struggles or whatever. And so there was a lot of, and I just was quiet in the room because I was like, That's like a great mix of talent.
I think it works for us because all of us were sidekicks at one point.
Yeah.
Or co-hosts, whatever you want to call it.
So you know how to be a co-host.
Yeah, like Envy was with Miss Jones, Angela was with Cypher Sounds, I was with Wendy. So we all know how to play our position.
But there was never any because clearly, and this is no disrespect to Angela, I love her, she's doing great. They're all doing, in their own spaces, but clearly you're having a moment. Clearly you have stepped out from the show and are on a national platform right now. I mean, you all are national, but does that create how do you keep that, I don't know, the energy good and not weird. And do you ever have that type of thing?
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you work with people every day.
Yeah.
So yes, we fuss.
Yeah.
We fight.
Yeah.
We curse each other out. We don't talk to each other for moments, but it hasn't affected the business of the show at all. But I mean, the thing about both of them is they're both doing good.
Yeah. No, totally. That's what I'm saying. You can't front, but
that's an understatement for Envy. All
Yeah.
right, but even Angela got businesses and like
Yeah.
everybody's doing good. I think everybody's doing what they want to do.
yeah.
And I mean, I think that's the beauty of it. Like, nobody feels like they're being shortchanged in their livelihoods or their careers. Like, I'm doing what I want to do, and they're doing what they want to do and
Yeah.
having success at it. So
It's just sometimes it's not even from the inner thing. It's from the outside, how people want to position you. Like if somebody comes in the room and you're having this moment, people want to talk to you, or I don't know. I just wonder if there's a way that you guys cope with that or make sure that you guys stay on the, on the same kind of like.
yeah, I mean, that's a good
page.
question. I never thought about it. I mean, I definitely don't feel any animosity or anything like that. I mean, if anything, it's all love. Like, like how Rick Ross said, your people retweet your stuff and post your stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they constantly do that for me. I do that for them. And I think we're all smart enough to know even if one of us is winning, it just helps the collective as a whole. Because it's never like it's just Charlamagne. It's Charlamagne from iHeartMedia's The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And, it's never anything I'm on where I'm not mentioning them or the host of the show is not mentioning them. So it just helps everything.
Yeah.
Like even when I saw Angela Yee on The Real the other day, I'm retweeting. I thought that was dope. I was on The View. She was on The Real the same day.
Yeah, that was same time too.
Same time.
Yeah, different channels.
Yeah, and she's doing that. She did it the whole week. I'm retweeting that, telling people go watch that.
Yeah,
Like, that's,
You're good like that.
Yeah.
You definitely retweet and you were amazingly supportive of me on my like book run and stuff like that.
Because it's enough to go around for
It's so
everybody.
true.
Like who's so insecure that
Because you're not really a hater.
No, never been.
That's people confuse you. They're like,
Yeah.
you're a hater.
Never been.
You're not a hater.
No, I actually like to celebrate more than I hate. But if
Yeah.
I don't like something, I reserve the right to say I don't like it.
No, we all know. We're all clear
and
about
that does not make me a hater just because I don't like
Because you
something.
don't like something.
Yes.
All right. One of the things in the book, "Fuck Your Dreams," is one of the 8. Is it 8? Is it 8?
8 principles.
Yeah, the 8 principles.
Yes.
Thank you. So fuck your dreams, because Charlamagne tried at first to be a rapper and he was terrible at it.
Yes, my rap name was Dizzy Van Winkle.
Already awful.
Terrible. I thought I was gonna be a member of the Hit Squad. I loved Redman and Keith Murray and all of those guys, and I thought I was gonna fit right in with them. Dizzy Van Winkle's the name. I can slam King Kong and lift up freight trains, which actually is a Redman line, but nobody knew that in South Carolina. So when I used to spit that bar, they used to think it was dope.
He was straight plagiarizing.
Yes, absolutely.
That's terrible.
Absolutely.
He actually, even in the book, shares a verse. And it's just, I'm not even going to read it all, but it's like, suck rhymes with fuck. Lick rhymes with shit. Toss rhymes with floss.
Yes.
And when he talks about tossing, he's talking about salads.
Yes.
This is the type of shit you were rapping about.
Well, that rhyme was actually inspired by Biggie Smalls' One More Chance, the original version.
It's so bad.
Yes, that's what that was inspired by. But luckily, I had a mentor named Dr. Robert Evans. He's from Rochdale, Queens.
Yeah.
And he told me that I sucked at rapping and I need to pursue radio because I could be really good, maybe great at radio if I actually, applied myself, and that's exactly what I did. So it's F your dreams when they're not your dreams, because a lot of times when you're growing up in the hood and you're a young black person, the people you see that are successful that look like you are usually in sports or some form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Rap was a lot of people's way out of the hood. So he's like, oh, that's the way to get out of the hood? So of course, I wanted to rap. And then when I saw Ludacris, oh my God, Ludacris was radio
rap. I
then
know.
rap.
I caught a bad one because I was finally trying to be like Ludacris.
I was like, that was my blueprint. But you were before Ludacris though.
No, I wasn't. Ludacris was one of the people that made me feel like, oh, fuck it, let me try.
Really?
Well, not Ladies Night. Ladies Night was like a fluke little thing. But when it came to like albums, you want to do an album. I'm like, literally, I was making that first album when Ludacris's Fantasy was popping.
You're right.
So I was
like
looking
99,
at Ludacris with these big eyes like, he did it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to try to do it too.
It worked for you though.
Yeah, somewhat.
You and Jay got a classic record.
It's not classic.
Me and More is a classic. No, it is.
Classic is a strong
I'm telling
word.
you, go back and listen to Me and More now.
I think Ladies Night is more of a classic than a Me and More.
I'll be honest with you, I don't like Ladies Night.
Really? You never did?
I never did.
Really?
I don't know why. I just did.
Because it's called Ladies Night.
As soon as I hear Ladies Night, what? Must be Angie?
So you hate my verse. You don't
I don't like the song.
The whole song.
And then at the end, And then at the end, Missy was like, she didn't know if she wanted to be there or not. And she was like, y'all ain't gonna just have me here doing hooks. Like, I was like,
you hated it.
I didn't really care for the record. I'm not gonna lie. I like what it represented. Like all of these dope female MCs coming together. I love the MTV performance at the VMAs.
Yeah.
That was the VMAs, right?
Yeah, it was the VMAs.
Yeah, but
that was terrible. But
yeah. Why didn't you come to when they did it over? Where were you, Angie?
Did you really want to see me doing that? Be honest.
Why not?
You wanted me to see me during the reunion?
Why not?
I debated. I went back and forth, honestly. But also, it was marathon. I was like the week of the marathon. So I was full. I couldn't. There was no way I could have ran the marathon and then been there doing
exhausted.
that.
Absolutely.
I almost killed myself in that run. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But you and Jay do have a classic. I know you tried to change the subject, but you and JayZ,
classic
Mia
is
Moore.
a strong word.
Matter of fact, who's in the mix today? Play Mia Moore with JayZ and Angie.
Ty Boogie, I will fire
Ty Boogie. Play the JayZ and Angie Martinez record, Mia Moore. Classic.
So bad. Jay's verse is actually really good on it.
The whole song is dope.
I'm terrible. No, I'm not. That's terrible.
It's terrible. Did you help? Did he write that, or did he help you? Or?
No. I've never said this. I really wanted him to. I really hoped he would.
Because I saw in your book you said you didn't want help. You didn't want ghostwriting help.
Well, he was JayZ. It was different. I didn't want help. At first, that first album, I was like, I want to do this. I want to, try, because I had that, and then, and so no, he didn't. Yeah. But he definitely came in and made me redo the verse a couple times. Like, he came in and heard it. He was like, I need you to stop rapping so hard. Because I guess I was trying to really rap. Yeah. He was like, you should try to do it again less rappery.
Just have a conversation.
Yeah,
that's like the program director telling you, stop yelling, Angie. Have a conversational tone.
I don't know. It's crazy. So no, I wrote it, which to me, I was proud of myself that I was even able to do that and then be on a record with him at the same time.
Ty Boogie, play the record. Mia Moore,
don't play
Angie
the record.
Martinez featuring JayZ.
Don't play the record. It's not my favorite. The one last thing, and this kind of speaks to that. One of the things I love that I don't know what the story is about, but that I love that you talk about in the book, and that I love that you have been saying a lot, is about owning the shit that is not good about yourself. Yeah, owning your flaws, owning your weaknesses.
Live your truth so nobody can use your truth against you.
Yes, it is such an important thing to do, and not always easy, by the way.
Yeah.
And even when you know it, because even sometimes I'll get insecure about certain things, and the second I'll say it out my mouth, it's like you're free. It's
two things to remember in that situation. I mean, one, you can remember your serenity prayer, which is God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Mm-hmm. And the second thing to remember about that is you take away all power from other people when they try to use the things that you're already aware about against you. Like Biggie said, you're black and ugly as ever. However, you just always got to have a however. That's my whole stance on life. You got to have a however. I don't know if your however is you being funny or you being smart, or it could be your career, or if you wanted to be material and be the car you drive or the clothes you wear, cool. But you just got to have a however.
Yeah.
As long as you got a however, you good.
You took this really far by sharing these penis pill stories in your book.
Yes. My now wife.
Is this your way of
dealing with it?
I have.
Yeah, it's still something I deal with. It's so fun.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
It's so funny. I told my wife thinks I'm crazy. I told her the other day, I said, damn, I just got real mad at you. And she was like, for what? And I was like, I don't know. I just thought about you having sex with somebody in college. And literally, this is 15 years ago. like we're at the airport. She's like, yo, what's wrong with you?
And you felt some type of way.
For no reason. But when she was in college, she cheated with a guy. And, I don't know if she was just trying to get back at me for all the times that I cheated on her. But when I asked her about the dude, because that's some stupid question that guys ask. We want to know, was he as good as me? Was he as big as me? And she looked me dead in the eye and was like, I never seen no shit like that in my life. Yes.
She said those words
that's
like that?
That's what she said. Absolutely. I talk about it in the book. I'm like, huh? And then it's I was traumatized. So I started, in the back of the XXL, it was these pills called Magna RX. And they were penis enlargement pills. So I ordered them. And
do they work at all?
I really don't know. But I really don't know what size I was before.
Oh.
And then you have to do an exercise with it where you grab your penis and you stretch it when it's soft, and then you pop the pills. So I'm 7 inches 3/4, 8 when it's warm out.
Okay.
That's why I hate the fact that the weather in New York hasn't gotten warm.
Isn't that a normal size? I don't know what the average normal size. I don't know what this is, but
that was a Pringles candy. I was like, God damn! You just brought back so much bad feelings, Angie.
Sorry.
That's not normal.
Sorry. Is this
That's
like
a big ass. That's a liter of Poland Spring you just did.
I'm sorry.
That's bad. That's not normal.
No disrespect. But isn't that normal? Like 8? Is that like a normal? Is that average, man? I don't know.
When your girl tells you, "I've never seen no like that in my life."
Yeah, that's really rude.
That's traumatizing.
She's ruthless.
Yeah, that's traumatizing. So I mean, at least I know she's with me for love.
She is ruthless.
She's with me for love.
I love that you shared that though. All right, so we learned a lot about Charlamagne in the book. About a little bit about his family and just the struggles to get here and religion.
Yeah.
You talk about that being.
I don't believe in religion per se.
Well, spirituality. You're a spiritual person. So
absolutely.
you don't, because I know at one point it was nation. You joined the nation, right?
I still, if I follow anything, it's definitely Islam more than anything. I studied the 5% teachings. That's where the whole God thing comes from. My mother was a Jehovah's Witness. My grandmother was a Baptist. My father was a witness, and he got this fellowship. So then he got into Islam. So I mean, I've always just been open to everything. Like that's why I'm not religious, because I feel like when you practice one religion, you close yourself off from every other thing that's out there.
I mean,
all of them got some good in them, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like I take a little bit of everything. Like,
so do you pray? Do you go like you pray all the time?
And that's another reason I can't totally commit to Islam, because I need to pray more than 5 times a day.
Really?
Yes.
Do you really pray more than 5 times a day?
Absolutely.
But like loose, like thank you God, or like real full out prayers.
Full on prayers,
really?
Like gratitude is just a natural, thank you God, but like just prayer. Because I right now I'm suffering from parental paranoia.
What is that?
When you just paranoid because you got kids. Like I got an 8-year-old daughter who goes to school every day. I don't know what she's dealing with.
I know this feeling.
Yeah.
My heart just got heavy when you said that.
Yeah,
okay.
And I live in one of those. Now I live in a really nice area, so like it was very scary because it was like around Halloween. It was like mad, crazy Halloween decorations, but also Trump signs in the yard. So you realize who you're around, and then like it's like my daughter goes to school with these people, and she's like the only black kid, maybe like 2 or 3. So in the crazy world we live in, so it's just like it's constant parental paranoia. And then like my newborn, it's like I'm a little bit more easier with her because she's about to be 2 in August. So it's like running around the house, not a care in the world, you know what I mean? But you still got that. She's still a kid, like.
So you praying on the kids all the time?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything else. I care about my family, and like that's it. Like so, it's like a real parental paranoia, and then just also wanting to raise your daughter the right way. And plus, I used to be a hoe in a past life. So being that I was a hoe in a past life. I heard that
you were a savage, you said in the book.
Super savage. So now I got daughters. So now I got to worry about, things like who penis they going to suck in the future.
Yeah.
And like things like that bother me.
No, that's scary.
Like it's the truth.
It's scary. My son is 14. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
Every woman in your life is going to have sex. Like your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, all these women that you love.
Why do you think of these things, though?
Because you have
crazy.
to. I have to. So I'm like, I'm even though I'm still in the moment, she's 8, but I'm still thinking about 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like constant parental paranoia.
I keep trying to wrap this up, but then there's so many questions I have about you. And so when you say you were a savage,
yes,
like what type of savagery are we talking about?
Well, I tell a story in the book about how it was prom weekend, and it was my now wife's prom, and I go to prom weekend with her and end up smashing like her best friend and her
disgusting
cousin.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Like that's just wrong on so many levels.
You really were a different person.
Oh, no, I was hard.
How does she forgive you after that?
I don't know if she has, to be honest.
Oh, really? She bring it up every 15 years?
Listen, when I was in LA Sunday, I don't even smoke like that. And like I smoked this weed, the sativa, and I'm really bugging. Like Angie, you don't understand how bad I'm bugging.
I would love to smoke with
like
you.
My nervous system is going crazy, and like I'm jumping up in the middle of my sleep because when I would fall asleep, I'd see these black hands reaching for me, and I'd jump up like, no! Like, and she's looking at me, and she's kind of like giggling, and I'm like, are you not concerned? So I'm like, is she waiting on me to die? Like, I'm telling her like how my heart is beating all crazy, and she's just like finding it funny. And I'm like, I think she wants me to die. Like she knows how much is in the bank account. Like
prom night.
Like we just got this, and my anxiety kicked in too.
Yeah.
So it's like we just got this life insurance policy. So I'm like, maybe she wants me to go because of prom night. Like, I'm serious. So she could be with the big penis guy who I don't know if she even still talks to from 15 years ago. Like, for real. Like, so I don't know. Like, yeah.
You shouldn't smoke weed ever.
No, absolutely not. I'm not with it. I hate it. I'm not with it.
But you were in a relationship that whole time. You haven't even been able, you didn't enjoy savagery?
Not open savagery.
Is that a word? Savagery?
No, but I understand what you're saying.
You see what I'm
we
trying
black
to do.
and brown. We get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You weren't able to do that open or like as a celebrity.
No, I haven't experienced that.
Because
I don't even. I'm not. I don't feel like I'm a celebrity, but I understand what you're saying.
You are one.
But I have
I
not.
saw you on The View in a vest.
Okay, but I have not experienced that. But I wouldn't want to experience that.
Really?
No
What?
way. Listen,
I'm so surprised.
God knows His children. There's no way I would be in this position and still be the loose, unstable individual I was. I talk about it in my book. My first firing, I feel like I got fired for abusing the platform that I was in because the first time I ever saw my name on a marquee was at a club called The Nightlife in King Street, South Carolina. It was like, oh, Charlamagne the God. And it was like, this King Street is smaller than Monk's Corner. So if Monk's Corner is like 8,000, King Street's like 3,000. So when I pulled up, they was on some like, oh, treating me like I'm somebody. Mind you, I'm just a guy making $19,000 a year in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And this girl was like, yo, I said, what you doing tonight? She was like, I'm doing whatever Charlamagne the God tells me to do. So it's like, we took her back to Monk's Corner, and like, when I say she F'd the team, she F'd the team. Like 5 and 6 guys. And then I had her at a remote on that Monday night, a remote from a club. Had guys charging $50 to get oral from her. So it's like when I got fired from that station, Hot 98.9, I felt like it was directly because of that situation. I felt like God was saying, you're totally out here wilding. You need to sit down, bitch, be humble.
Yeah.
And like you're misusing your platform. So I would never want to be on this level without having the spiritual foundation I have now and just the family. Foundation I have now. Because I'm a stern believer, like me personally, when I'm out here wilding, like doing things I don't got no business doing, like, sleeping with other chicks or whatever, bad things happen in my life. Like just these little hiccups that you just know, like,
yes, because you ain't right.
I'm not doing right.
Ain't right.
But when I'm like now like focused and I love my wife and my wife is all I want and I'm a family man and I'm holding it down, like nothing but great things happen. So that's an easy trade for me. Like because you're bringing all this energy into your life. Like guys think we just out here having sex with different girls, but no, you just bringing all this strange energy in your life, and it's affecting you and it's affecting your household and you don't even realize it. So it's just like, when you cut all that off and you just focus on, your wife and what's at home, like you end up on The View in a vest. and you end up a New York Times bestseller.
And it really suits you, man.
Yeah.
And if I haven't told you this yet, I'm like really proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from Angie Martinez.
On a real
that means a lot coming from you.
Congratulations.
That's like Michelle Obama calling me smart and funny.
I only heard funny. I didn't hear smart. I cannot confirm.
She definitely said smart after the funny.
What's up, Charlamagne the God, best-selling author.
Thank you for having me, Angie Martinez. Top Boogie, play the record.
Black privilege. You better not.